Ever feel drained, constantly putting others before yourself? This is the story of Marcus and the Last Cup of Tea, a tale of unspoken needs and quiet sacrifices. Discover how denying yourself small comforts can lead to overwhelming anxiety, but more importantly, how acknowledging your needs can unlock a new kind of strength. Prepare to learn the value of receiving as well as giving. The rain tapped steadily against the kitchen window as Marcus moved about the room, his movements precise and practiced. It was Saturday, but for Marcus it was just another marathon of duties and demands. The knot of tension in his chest tightened relentlessly with each task on his mental to-do list. He woke early, as he always did, before the family stirred. But today, there was no time to indulge. Pancakes were expected, the leaky faucet needed fixing, and his son needed help with a last-minute history project. Each task was met with a steady no problem, a reflex he barely noticed. The scent of cooking pancakes mingled with the damp air creeping in. Marcus enjoyed feeding his family, yet beneath the surface, he wrestled with a growing unease, a quiet anxiety mounting behind his eyes and weighing down his chest. His daughter reached for a book on the top shelf. "Dad, could you help me get that?" she asked, eyes bright with expectation. Marcus barely hesitated, moving to retrieve the book with an automatic no problem. Back in the kitchen, the kettle simmered quietly, almost ready to whistle. The thought flickered through his mind. Just 10 minutes to himself with a hot cup of tea. Those 10 minutes would be a balm. Just as the kettle sang its tune, his son bounded into the room, waving a video game controller frantically. "Dad, can you help? I'm stuck on this level." Marcus nodded without thinking, took the controller and gave advice as best he could. "No problem," he said automatically. Wandering back to the stove, he found his wife standing by the counter, looking over an email with a crease of confusion on her brow. "Marcus, could you help me with this?" That familiar automatic response escaped him again. "No problem." He leant over her shoulder, scanning the screen and offering suggestions. When at last he returned to the kettle, the steaming promise of warmth was gone. The water had cooled to a disappointing lukewarm temperature. The small comfort he had yearned for, denied by the urgency of other needs, hit him harder than any task he had completed that day. The unmet desire for those few quiet moments felt like a glaring failure. A momentary lapse in the unwavering role he believed he must uphold. Marcus stared down at the kettle, his shoulders sagging as the overwhelming flood of anxiety surged through him. The weight of being on all the time, the exhaustion from constantly putting others first, threatened to undo him. His breath hitched slightly. He felt utterly drained. From behind him, soft footsteps approached. His wife stepped into the kitchen, her eyes warm with understanding, but careful not to judge. "You never sat down, did you?" she asked gently. He shook his head, voice caught in his throat. The truth was simple but difficult to admit. No, he had not allowed himself even a moment's rest. Without a word, she lifted the kettle, filled it with fresh water, and settled it back on the stove. "Go sit," she said softly. "I'll bring it to you." It was a small gesture, barely noticeable to anyone else, but utterly transformative for Marcus. He moved to the living room, sinking into the couch with the kind of relief that comes from finally releasing a heavy burden. The house buzzed around him, his children laughing, the rain still tapping, but for once he let the noise wash over him without trying to fix or control it. His wife soon appeared, carrying the steaming cup of tea. She handed it to him with a gentle smile. Marcus held the cup in his hands, feeling the warmth seep through his palms and spread through his body. The simple act of accepting this help felt revolutionary. At that quiet moment, something shifted inside him. Being a rock for his family didn't have to mean being unbreakable or constantly strong. It didn't mean denying his own needs or pretending exhaustion didn't exist. It meant being human whole and imperfect, capable of both giving and receiving care. The tight knot of anxiety loosened, replaced by a gentle understanding. His needs weren't a weakness, they were part of what made him who he was. And with that acceptance came a quiet strength, the kind that allows you to stand firm and rest. Marcus took a slow sip of his tea and exhaled deeply.